Let's join Zulhafidz Tadore, a TVRI reporter who's in Cianjur Regency, West Java province. Please provide us with the most recent information right now.
Thank you, Siska. The National Disaster Mitigation Agency, or BNPB, recently announced that the death toll of the earthquake in Cianjur Regency, West Java province has risen to 310 people as of Friday. And the BNPB is still working on various actions or efforts to handle this situation. And to know more the latest updates or data from the BNPB, joining me now is the head of the BNPB's Disaster Data Information and Communication Center, Abdul Muhari, or also known as Pa Aam. Pa Aam, thank you so much for joining us today on TVRI World. It's an honor, and I have a number of questions regarding the BNPB's efforts to handle the situation after earthquake that hampered Cianjur Regency. Pa Aam, first and foremost, can you please provide us the latest updates of victims or fatalities or refugees, Pa Aam?
Yeah, as for Friday, as you mentioned before, that we already published 310 casualties. This is the result of the yesterday's search and rescue effort. We found 17 dead bodies. Unfortunately, no one safe. And this reduced the total missing person into 24% that still continue to be searched today, particularly focus on two areas in Cijedil village and also Cicadas village. Still also another place that we expect there are still missing person, which is at the Sate Sinta restaurant. That yesterday we found 9 dead bodies. The previously reported by the community surrounding the restaurant is only 7, but we found 9 person, means 2 more. So of course, by having additional 2 dead bodies, we expect the probably another dead bodies still remain buried. So that's why the today's search and rescue activities also focus on the Warung Sinta restaurant, that we expect probably we can still find another dead bodies.
Right, Pa Abdul, correct me if I'm wrong, the BNPB is not using heavy equipment to search for Cianjur earthquake victims. Could you please explain to us why, Pa Aam?
Sorry, excuse me?
The BNPB recently stated that the BNPB is not using heavy equipment to search the missing victims.
So there are several options for this accelerating the search and rescue operation. First, of course we use the heavy equipment, but in the disaster impacted area at Cijedil, Cicadas, and also at Warung Sinta restaurant, the soil characteristic is not solid. So if we push to use the heavy equipment, probably that will cause another accident that we also, of course, not expecting another accident that could bring another disaster event. So what we choose later on, we prefer to use manual operation, but by using adequate number of the personnel, and and we use the jet water pumping to push the soil that we expect. We are not disturbing, we are not, the activity is not affecting on the bodies of the casualties. And so far, if we have a good weather, like today, already 2 p.m., we still haven't got rain yet. So this several hours for the search and rescue operation. We expect that this afternoon we can get a better result than yesterday. And of course, as what the President Joko Widodo mentioned, that this operation should found the whole missing person. That's the target that we will achieve at the field.
Yeah, as we enter the sixth day after the earthquake that happened in Cianjur Regency, West Java Province, what actions actually, the BNPB focusing are on right now? I mean, aside from the searching for missing victims,
Yeah, since the second day after the earthquake, we already started to do the evacuee management, the refugees management. So far, we already conducted the detailed data survey for the refugees, so we can really understand the age distribution, the sex distribution, and the special need distribution, whether or not there's a handicapped people and etc., pregnant woman. We already do the survey among the total 73,000 refugees. We already do the survey covering almost 48,000, so more than half, only within 3 days. So we expect that this week we can complete the whole survey. So next week we can really manage the logistic distribution. In example, in what section, in what point the refugee area that need, in example, the babies equipment or the pregnant woman equipment, because usually if we don't have that sort of information, that the logistic distribution could be distributed sporadically. So if we have the detailed data about the refugees, so we can really manage what equipment or what logistic or what things that should be delivered to what point of refugee area.
Well, meaning that that the BNPB or the government have not received yet detailed information about some location that haven't been distributed the aid assistance, because in some places or areas of affected areas by the earthquake, we heard from the victims that they haven't got the aid distribution.
So if we discuss about the centralized evacuation area, that location should already have enough logistic and the medical team and etc. But if we discuss the family evacuation or people who evacuate by constructing emergency tent just surrounding their houses, this will be that situation will take longer time to really distribute the logistic to all over the refugees. So we expect that for those who still evacuating surrounding their house by using emergency tent, please go down to the centralized evacuation area.
Right, but beginning next week, as the BNPB also stated, correct me if I'm wrong, the National Disaster Mitigation Agency, or BNPB, will construct a model earthquake-resistant house in Cianjur Regency, West Java. Can you please elaborate more to us about this?
Yeah, as what the President Joko Widodo mentioned to us and already informed to the public, that we would like to do the rehabilitation and reconstruction as soon as possible. So starting next week, we expect in each sub-district, we already built at least 1 or 2 sample house showing the type and the type of construction or different size of the houses. So the people can choose, okay, for those who are not planning to be relocated from their original places, then we will start to build the houses or to reconstruct the damaged houses. But for those who should be relocated, depending on the assessment conducted by the geological agency, probably showing that in this specific area probably it's not appropriate to build back the damaged houses, then currently we also already exercise several locations that in terms of geological perspective probably safer than the existing location for the residential. So once we decide the location area, of course, the reconstruction of the houses will do as soon as possible.
Right, but there's one question. Is there any category for residents who lost their homes to rebuild or to get the assistance from the government?
So the assessment of damaged houses is currently ongoing together with the Ministry of Public Works, BNPB, and supporting by the universities. Two universities support us in assessing the damaged houses. And we do the assessment by using a scientifically sound methodology. So of course, it should be reliable and accountable. So now we already assessing at least 46,000 buildings. 22,000 of them are completely damaged. So this number matched with the total refugee currently, about 76,000. So if we have 20,000 damaged houses, collapsed houses, then if we assume that each house is one household, then probably Indonesia 3 or 4 family member. Then if by 4, multiple by 4, so it's about 80,000 refugees. So mixed with the total refugee that we have currently, the data at the emergency response post.
Right. But I mean, as we all know now, this couple of weeks, the Cianjur Regency always experienced raining. It's rainy day a couple of days ago. And what about the evacuation process? Because we all know that it might, the BNPB in particular, might be experience difficulties. The search and rescue person should be continue or should be postponed very highly depending on the condition of the weather, because we know most of the casualties buried under the landslide area. So the stability of the soil around the landslide area still not could be adjusted or supported for the search and rescue operation. So the team should always see carefully and assessing the situation carefully, because if we push the rescue effort conducting on the rainy situation, that probably it will also dangerous for the safety of the person. But before we go to the last question, from your point of view regarding this condition or after the earthquake hampered, what lessons do you think that we should learn?
So at every earthquake event, we always say that it's not the earthquake you kill the human, but the building who are not earthquake resistant that kill the human. So if we do the onward looking, then we will say, okay, the reconstruction should be earthquake resistant building, but we should consider the existing houses, probably among 270 million person in Indonesia, about 60 or 50 to 60 household, 60 million household, means 60 million houses that probably not earthquake resistant building. So we should do the retrofitting for this building. This is the exact vulnerability. So this is what BNPB focus right now, what kind of method that could be affordable for the lay people, not expensive methodology, can be conducted by the house owner or the people who do the house construction. And we expect that the retrofitting effort is not less than probably 20% of the price of the houses. So if we can consolidate the methodology with that requirement, we think that we can start the houses retrofitting for each household that probably could be finished next 10 or 15 years. But at least if we start from now and the next 15 years, we already say, okay, our house is already earthquake resistant
Right, but is there any message lastly for the public following the situation post-quake, Pak?
Yeah, we expect that all the communities, all the for those who would like to contribute in supporting the earthquake impacted area, please consider do it in front or through one door, one management at the earthquake emergency post management, so we can really do the logistic management, and we can ensure that the contribution will be delivered to for those who affected on this earthquake.
All right, thank you so much, Pak. It's truly an honor for us joining us today on TVRI World. It's truly an honor, Pak. Thank you so much. And Siska, that concludes my interview with Pak Abdul Muhari as the head of the BNPB's Disaster Data Information and Communication Center. Back to you now, Siska, at the studio.
Thank you. That was our reporter Zulhafidz Tadore from Cianjur, who interviewed Bapak Abdul Muhari, head of the BNPS Disaster Data Information and Communication Center. Thank you, Zulhafidz, for your continuing report from Cianjur. It has given us a lot of information and a better understanding of the current condition. We look forward to your next report. Until then, please take care, and thank you once again.